What's crackin'-lackin'? Does that sound really loud to you? I feel like Darth Vader. Anyway, how's everyone doing? Good? Good. Guys, before I start my set, I want to congratulate Whitney Houston on 7 months of sobriety. She did it, guys. I think she could. So, I'll tell you, that hairy vagina song is in my head all night. 2 a.m. I'll be at a bar, la, la, la. It'll be glorious. So earlier tonight I was at the dollar store. So it was an exciting day for all of us. Yeah, and I was there, and have you ever been in the dollar store and you got really angry at something? And you're like, oh man, I would just love to smash something right now. And then you remembered, wait a minute, I'm in the dollar store. I can do whatever the fuck I want up in here. You could trash the entire place, then just walk up to the counter and throw 20 down. And all the guy will say is, hey, you've got your change. I actually just got back in the country right now. You know what country is just completely full of shit? All of them correct. But no, spoiler alert, it's Germany. It's Germany. They're just completely full of shit. They really try and hide that stigma, guys. You know the stigma I mean. The one about them being the worst white people in the history of the planet. That stigma. And trust me, that's a tough race to win, alright? There's a lot of terrible white people out there. Think about it. Stalin, Mussolini, all of Alabama, Troy Aikman. And yet no one holds a candle up to the Nazis. No one. Well, maybe Troy Aikman does. I don't know. Tom Brady's pretty terrible too. You're right. You're right. But still, the first name in racism that you think, Germany. You really think Germany. Even though Giselle's a Nazi. I'll give you that. But I'm Irish, okay? And they don't like me. And I'm whiter than white people. Like, even their language is just so evil. Like, I don't speak German, but I do know one phrase. Kinderlaken. Sounds fucking evil, doesn't it? Kinderlaken. You know what that means, guys? Children's laughter. Sounds like the fucking apocalypse. Kinderlaken. Just a bunch of kids laughing. Oh, speaking of kids, I had a really awkward moment earlier this week. I was walking down the street, and in front of me, about 150 yards ahead of me, walking towards me, was this girl, alright? And she was looking good. And as we're getting closer and closer, my thoughts are getting dirtier and dirtier. Till I got about 10 feet away from her, and I realized she was 13 years old. I know, I was disgusted too, guys, because normally that's too old for me. I'm young, guys. Like a fetus would be perfect. Problem is, you never meet a fetus at a bar. And if you do, it's always in a trash can or a toilet. Sorry, I was just thinking about my prom. Oh, speaking of transitions, you know what animal is the most useless animal on the planet? The goose. It's fucking useless. All a goose does is eat grass, shit everywhere, and clog airplane engines. That's it. That's all they bring to the table. And if I'm on a plane, I got enough to worry about. I got to worry about mechanical failures, and drunk pilots, and how am I supposed to get this cocaine through customs, and if I'm going to actually follow through with this jihad. Last thing I need is a goose flying into my jet engine because it's a fucking moron. Honestly, I don't know of any animal other than humans that eat geese. And there's no animal that geese eat. Even ecologically, they're useless. They're like nature's homeless men. Just covered in dirt and shit and disease, wandering around from town to town, sleeping in our parks and just shitting wherever they want. Then just like homeless people walking right out into the middle of traffic. And just like homeless people, you don't report it when you hit one. Millions of years of evolution and the mighty dinosaurs, they don't make the cut. And yet the retarded goose remains. That Darwin can kiss my dick. By the way, guys, I know I said the word retarded. I shouldn't say that. If Glee has taught me anything, It's that you don't say retarded. It's now the R word. You gotta call it the R word. Which is, you know, when I first heard about the R word, I thought they were talking about rape. Seems to me that's more offensive. And I thought, man, I can't say rape anymore? That's terrible. How am I supposed to explain to my son how he got here? Well, son, daddy R-worded mommy, and I'm kidding, I don't have kids. First thing I can do with a kid is running down a men's room wall as we speak. Did I say men's? I meant ladies. But I was watching my friend's kid the other day. And by watching, I mean babysitting, okay? I wasn't like sitting in a van watching him in the park. I was babysitting him. And his name is Charlie. Well, actually his name's not actually Charlie. I just call him that on stage because he's Korean. But Charlie was watching Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. I got a question for you. What were those seven dwarves whistling about? You know, the whistle while you work. They worked in a fucking coal mine. Have you ever seen a coal miner whistle? Hell no! And you know why? Because coal mining's a shitty job. You work long, back-breaking hours for shitty pay in a hole in the ground which may or may not kill you. Gee, sounds whistling. And let's say everything works out and then you're not crushed by the earth. You're still working with 6 other midgets. How good could productivity be, really? And keep in mind the dwarves you're working with. One of them is a fucking asshole, like all the time. Grumpy. Another one running around with a pickaxe that you gotta watch because he's borderline an R word. One son of a bitch who can't stop sneezing. Have you ever been around the guy that can't stop sneezing? That shit is annoying. I'll give him 2 God bless yous and I'm at the fucking door. One narcoleptic dwarf who sleeps through half his goddamn shift. And another son of a bitch who's happy all the time. Ugh, that's more annoying than the asshole and the sneezer combined. It's like that guy in your office on Monday morning who's always so spur to be there. Hi there, how are ya? Fuck you. What are you so happy about? Last time I checked, this job sucks. And the dwarf that calls himself a self-proclaimed leader calls himself Doc. Doctor of what? Getting black lung next to me? Where did he get his medical license? In the Philippines? These dwarves are full of shit, man. That's the end of that. Even though, keep in mind, I realized I only said 6 dwarves. But I don't have one for bashful. I don't have a joke. So I'm going to be bashful. I'm just riffing here, guys. Okay, I'll go back into it. A bunch of my friends have been going hunting recently. They're trying to get me to go. And I'm not going to go, because frankly, I was born in Brooklyn, where we only hunt people. So yeah, it's right, we go hard in BK, even though I moved out of there when I was 1. I'm kidding, I said I was born there, I didn't say I lived there.
Yeah, it's from Coney Island, I guess.
Yeah, great. Nathan, what else you got? Heroin? It's great. It's great. Like, oh, you get a hot dog? I'll suck your dick.
In the same place.
In the same place. I need a hot dog. Now, a bunch of my friends have been going hunting, and they've been trying to get me to go with them, and I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going, because to me, there's a fine line between hunting and just getting drunk in a tree. And one of those, I don't got to get up early for. I can just get a ladder and figure that out. At noon. And then, but they say, like, no, bro, you got to go for the sport of it. It's for the sport. But you have an automatic gas-powered rifle with a laser scope and a hair trigger, and you're fighting a fucking deer. Where's the sport in that? I hit one backing out of my driveway the other day. Yeah, for a second I thought I was in Jumanji. Turns out I wasn't. The deer's just a fucking idiot. You don't need a gun for that. All you need is a bow. And then we come back and we're like, bro, no, you gotta use a bow and arrow. What's this chatter over here? What? What's going on, guys? How you doing? You're fighting? Fighting with who? The Jews? Racist. I did the Nazi bit for you guys already. You hate everything? Did you hear that, guys? He's not racist, he hates everybody. What napkin did you read that off? Ireland's? Ireland's? The country, or is there a bar Ireland's? The country? Well, the whole country's a bar, really. You're correct. You're right. I am Irish. We smell our own. Plus, you never want more racist people in your life. Like, they're great over there, as long as you're white. I'm gonna leave this alone. I'm not going on with it. But a bunch of my friends, they always say the sport of it is to go hunting with a bow and arrow. Like Robin Hood, bro. That's the sport of it. Like Robin Hood used a bow and arrow against people trying to kill him with a bow and arrow. That's not a sport either. That's a war. You want a sport, go into the woods with a fork and come out with a bear. Now that's a sport. Then I will be impressed. Here's my wife. But I actually went hunting once when I was a kid. I was like 6. I went hunting with my dad. And we got there, I took aim at the bear. And he said we were going bear hunting, and we were looking at the bear. I said, my dad, I really want to do this. I don't want to do this. He was like, oh, that's fine. We'll go home, and on the way home, we'll pick you up a skirt and change your name to Danielle because you're acting like a little fucking bitch right now. So I was like, no, but you don't understand, Dad. Like, all I want to do, like, it's not that I don't want to kill the bear. I just don't want the other people at the zoo to stare at me weird. Well, he said it was a zoo, but I don't remember it looking like a zoo. To me, it looked more like a warehouse. And it was really dark, and it really didn't look like a bear either, to be honest with you. And I thought it was weird how my dad was tying the bear to a chair. And he kept saying how the bear owed him money. But I thought it was also weird that we were going hunting for bears with pistols. It was weird. And then the bear kept yelling, no, don't, please. He was a smart bear, I guess. I don't know. But I shot him anyway. And afterwards, my dad just kept saying, like, now you can't rat on your old man. I got one up on you. Whatever the hell that meant. Well, I don't know. Who remembers those details? I was 6 years old, guys. And we were so fucking drunk, it wasn't even funny. Like I said, I've been traveling a lot lately. And I don't know if you guys know this, but when you get outside the tri-state area, people are really nice. And I don't like it. I am not a fan of it. Like, I'm from Jersey, where I'm used to people being bastards. And I'm comfortable with that. I like that. So, like, if you go down south, that southern hospitality thing, that's real. That exists. You know, if you're white. But otherwise, like, I was down in Savannah, Georgia, and I was asking this woman in a pickup truck directions to a 7-Eleven. And she said, well, what you're going to do, you're going to go right through this light and, oh, yeah, I'll just jump in, I'll give you a ride. That would never happen in Jersey. I could go outside right now and ask a guy, like, bro, you know where a 7-Eleven is? He's like, yeah, they go right at that light, go fuck your mother. How about that? Fucking asshole. Jesus. I like Slurpees too. And I was outside a comedy club in New York City, and I don't know if you guys remember this, but floating above Lower Manhattan a couple months ago was this gray thing, all right? Now, I'm not going to be one of those weirdos that comes up and says, oh, it was a UFO. But it looked like a fucking UFO, okay? They came out a couple days later and said that it was balloons. But listen, I went to college, okay? I know what a fucking balloon looks like. So I'm sitting there staring at this thing, and I say to the guy next to me, like, bro, isn't that weird? Look at that. And he said to me, this is a direct quote, I don't give a fuck. And he walks away. He's worried about his next latte and his BlackBerry. I'm waiting for a laser beam to shoot down and blow this bitch up. Then Bill Pullman will make a great speech, and Will Smith and Jeff Goldblum will save the world. I know what you're thinking, guys, especially this table. You were thinking, I just hope one of these comedians makes an Independence Day reference. Guys, just happened. You got me thinking though, like if aliens were to attack this planet, why is it up to us as humans to defend it? Like we're not the only animals here, you know? Like why can't a lion do anything? Or a bear? How funny would it be to watch a bear maul an alien? Or why can't dolphins step their game up? You know, dolphins are doing the same thing they've always done. Jack shit. Still holding a grudge from SeaWorld, right brother?
Damn right.
Yeah.
Oh, that was too much.
Yeah. Who cares about them? It's like worrying about the body in your fucking basement. Who cares? It's dead already. Don't worry. Just leave it there. It's all been downhill after Marino, and that was like 25 years ago. But everyone always says dolphins are so smart. How do you know? How do you know? I haven't seen a dolphin do anything but swim around, eat fish, and go, and that's it. I get to see one of them on Jeopardy, or working at an Apple store, or even clothed. And for Christ's sakes, Canadians figured that out. Let's be honest, like if your kid was as smart as a dolphin, he'd ride the short bus to school, okay? Dolphins, they're not even smart enough to get out of those fucking nets. And that's first grade shit, guys. You'd be sitting there, help, help, I'm in a net, I'm in a net. Oh wait, no, I'm out. Not the dolphin, right into my sandwich. Is it wrong that I secretly hope there's chunks of dolphin in my tuna? That's wrong, I don't want to be right. I'll leave you with this, guys. This is a question just for the guys. Any of you guys with a girl, have you been with your girl and just punched her right in the face? Listen, I'm not going to ask for a raise of hands because they're bruised and you get arrested. But, no, but I don't mean intentionally. I mean like you came home from the Super Bowl and you lost $5,000 and dinner was cold. I don't mean that, no. I'm talking about completely by accident. I was dating this girl. And it happened to me, man. We were in this relationship, I don't know, two and a half weeks, something like that.
You're sick of me.
And it was still the romantic phase, the honeymoon phase of our relationship, you know, where we're being really romantic with each other. You know, like I'll buy her flowers and she blows me, that kind of
I
way.
can't even give you mean pitch.
And one day we decided to take a walk in the park at
His face was not in the
sunset.
fridge.
Romantic shit, guys, okay? Little did she know I was just broke. But it still worked out. And let me explain, like the girl was about 5'5". I'm 6'3", okay? That's a difference of 10 inches, and it's all cock, ladies. So she was holding up on my arm like this while we're walking through the park, and in the middle of our tryst there, she just leans up and goes, right in my cheek, which I thought was very nice, didn't do anything for me, but it was a nice gesture. But as she's coming down, her head goes about to my shoulder, and my face walks right through a spider web. You know that feeling. I can still feel it on me right now. My mouth was open and everything. It was terrible. And my arms start flailing, and I connect with the uppercut. Boom! And her head goes up like a rockin' sock'em robot. And down like a sack of dimes. It was even worse, I didn't even immediately check on her. I looked to see if anyone saw me do this. Because that's a tough one to explain. Because to an outsider's perspective, it looks like she kissed me on the cheek and I came through like Ryu, like Hadouken! So after I noticed no one saw me do this, I had to get her up. So I focused my attention back to the girl, because I'm a gentleman. Hey! We gotta get the fuck out of here. We gotta go. And after about 10 minutes, she finally regained consciousness, and the tears just started flowing down her face, just flowing down, mixing with the blood coming out of her mouth. It was terrible. And it was really terrible. It was actually the worst I've ever seen her look. But I know it was my fault, but I immediately said, hey, I'm really sorry. I can't believe I did that. I'm so sorry. I can't believe I did that. And after about 15 minutes of me doing this, she finally stopped crying and forgave me. And I kept explaining about the spider web and everything that happened, which made me look very manly, by the way. And after that, and to this day, guys, I can't believe she bought it. What a fucking R word, right? All right, guys, I'm Dan Farley.
Yeah!
Kelly.